Before we go any further, I just want to say that I hope that Dante London does not make me look like a fool again. I am rooting for this young man because I want to see everybody win. There's a difference between clickbaiting and scamming people for their money. It's like night and day. You got one is really bad audience wise, and just the other one, you just an evil, horrible person. But the reason I'm making this video is because myself and many other creators have been trying to warn you about trends and the whole YouTube is on easy mode thing. Now, I don't want to put Dante London in a category by itself, but he was one of the ones that exploded 6 to 8 months ago. And one of the things that got him there was the YouTube on easy mode trend. And I keep telling you guys about easy mode or viral success versus long-term growth. Now, let me just say this. The entire world is an ecosystem. Every position is needed. We need people to go to work to have 9 to 5 jobs. That's how this works. We need people to watch YouTube. We need people to create content. If YouTube was all creators, there would be no purpose for it. And if it was all viewers, there would be no purpose for it. So all of this, the ecosystem is needed. The other thing I want to add is that if you want to, the term real job bothers me. It's always bothered me. You say you got a good job. You can say you got a good job. A real job bothers me. I used to do DoorDash and 1099 work, right? I go to work. I do a service. I get paid for that service. Therefore, that's a job. A real job, what? Because I don't have an employer per se. I'm a contract worker, so that means it's not a real job. Any job that makes you money that's legal to me is a real job. If you can make money, I don't care there are people that are cutting the grass. Okay, they do lawn work, they do window washing. That is a real job. Real job means you're working for your money. That's all that means to me. So when people say that YouTube is not a real job, it bothers me. It's not a traditional job, but it is a real job nonetheless. Real jobs make real money, right? So as long as you're making the money legally, that's a job to me. Now, do you have to put away taxes? Do you have to put your life insurance? You got to put into insurance, health insurance, and all that stuff? Yes, you have to do all of that. Your employer doesn't do it for you because you don't have one. So outside of that, if you want to term that as a real job, that's fine. But that has always bothered me because there are millionaires who do YouTube, and YouTube ain't a real job, but they are making more than some people. A YouTuber is making more than a doctor. Put that in perspective. But the doctor has a real job. Now, whether you could call it brain rot or thankless or whatever the situation, those are different terms you can use, but a real job does bother me. Okay, so why am I making this video? Because if you guys have been following this channel for the last 4 to 6 months, I have always been rooting for two very specific people to correct the error of their ways. You got Dante London and you had Miss You Know Who. Miss You Know Who, is she gonna keep doing this until she has drained everybody and everything? She's like a parasite. But this guy here is just had, what is he, almost 20 something frontal cortex is finally fully developed. And Dante London, why I'm leaving YouTube for a normal job. Now, I have heard this before in the brief time I've been following him. I've heard this before. Contrary to what you might think of him on the internet from copyright striking people and stuff like that, this is how I'm going to tell you why he's going back to work. Well, he explains it in his video, but I'm going to give you the YouTube perspective of it. I don't know where this channel is going to go, but as long as I enjoy making videos about topics, then we'll keep this thing going. But Dante London just came out with a video, why I'm leaving YouTube for a normal job. He actually made a video a couple days ago that I was going to talk about, and he was asking people what he should do. Now, he just went to the car dealership, was going to do all of that stuff, and I have seen some things in my brief time watching him that it seems like it's very difficult for him to do, whether it's content-based or real life-based. It does seem like a job and YouTube are connected, and I'm noticing from the younger generations is that they don't want to do anything. They want stuff right now, but they don't want to do it. And it's kind of sad when you have somebody that's not too much younger than I am right now. She's not the age and she is the opposite. You think that she would be acting like this young man is acting right here. I call him young because I got gray hair. What is he, 28, 29? I'm 40. I'll be 40, 46 this year. So I could be like an older uncle or something like that, right? But I've been trying to warn everybody. Nobody's a hater. No, I'm not a hater. Never been, never will be. I go out and get my own, right? But I've been trying to tell y'all, you've been deceived. One person is deceiving you and stealing your money. Well, she's stealing it by a deception. You're giving it to her, but in my eyes, she's still in it because anyway. But the other person was just not being very real, very candid, right? Everything was a ploy to get money. You talk about money, get money. So Dante London is going back to work again, okay? And that aside, he says in the video why he's doing it. When you go viral, first of all, let me just paint the picture for this. I didn't realize this until it was probably about January or February. And these two individuals, they made a bunch of money in October. Now, you never really hear me talk about how much money I've made. I've made a decent amount of money. Not as much. No, I take that back. I made a decent amount of money, okay? But they kind of found their footing. October was a very specific time here in America. I don't want to talk about that, so please save those comments for let's talk about what we're talking about here. And what I noticed, it took me a while to understand this because I was making a ridiculous amount of money. And I was like, what's going on here? And it took me a little while to put two and two together and to realize why I was making so much money in October. And everybody can put two and two together and you should be able to figure it out. But my October was insane. It was insane. I made a lot of money, more money than I have ever made on YouTube, than I ever thought. I'm talking about three or four times the amount of money that I would need to, when I set out to do this job to make this my full-time job. I put an amount that I would need a month, and I made 4 times that. Okay, it was insane. November was great, December was great, January was great, February was great. So it was some runoff as well. But he's going back to work because he's going to focus on his family and all that stuff. I do think that that's the reason. But what happened to, and this, I don't want to take a shot at him because believe it or not, the reason I don't talk about Dante London like I do Miss You Know Who is because Dante just does what he does. He got the copyright strikes again. And when he does something, I talk about it. But outside of that, I told you guys, I only got one concern. This person is stealing. Okay, the person that I talk about that we have 40, almost 50 videos or more on this channel is because she is a thief. That's why I talk about her. She is corrupt. She is a conniver. Dante is just, he needs to grow up. He needs to grow up, okay? But looks like he's trying to do that. Now, again, this is not about him, a person. This is about him, the creator. He was doing some very questionable things that got him success in a time in which YouTube was promoting this type of behavior, okay? Easy mode, 9 to 5, all of this stuff. It's still, if you watch it, if I've been telling y'all this, if you watch the trends, you'll see what's happening. That individual keeps talking about a 9 to 5. There's a reason that that's happening, okay? Now, I'm going to show you why this is happening. Dante London views, maybe that can be a new channel name. His views are not the same, okay? Now, if you do YouTube, there are several different niches you can go in, and you got sports, you got finance, you have vlogs, you have a how-to, you got that type of thing. YouTube will pay you based on the niche that you're in. Now, you have some niches that's higher, you have some niches that's lower. For instance, if you're a live streamer who live streams, you're probably going to get paid less for your CPM, which is cost per meal. That's how much money you get paid every 1,000 monetized playbacks, or how much money you get paid. Because let's not forget, you get the money that the advertisers pay to put videos on your channel, but then YouTube takes their cut and you get what's left, okay? So you have different niches, all right? And your CPM, cost per meal, aka how much advertisers pay to put ads in your videos per 1,000 monetized playbacks, will vary. It will vary daily. I mean, it might even be hourly. It's like the stock market. It constantly changes. You'll come out with a video, the CPM will be $20. The next day, it might be 25 or 15. It changes all the time. So one of the fears about doing YouTube for a time, especially when your AdSense is your primary source of income, based off watch page ads, it's terrifying because you are paid based on the number of monetized playbacks you get. This is why I preach building an audience, building a community, because they will come back and watch. You'll continually meet new people and have new people that can become part of that community. Okay, but if you ruin that community, they won't want to come back and watch. And then you'll have all these subscribers and no views your subscriber to view ratio will be terrible. Now, it's not going to be 100%. And it's not going to be 75 a lot of the times, or it could be. It could be. If you take a guy like Mark Rober, Mr. Beast, they got a very, very big ratio to their sub to view count. Mark Rober has over 65 million subscribers, okay? He just spent $5 million, I believe it was, to send a satellite to space or some stuff. I haven't watched the video yet, but it's out. It popped in my feed today. He makes one video a month, and they're planned out for years in advance, and that's the type of content that he makes. And he's very good at what he does, right? But you get paid by view, and you can get a view from your community or a non-community member, aka subscriber versus just regular viewer. But when it comes to the long money, and that's what I was trying to tell you about, long money. See, this quick money is just like a credit card. If anybody has an American Express, very hard to get. If you got American Express, when you charge something, they want their money at the end of the billing cycle. They want their money, okay, paid in full, right? So if you have a credit card and you charge that credit card, if you don't pay it off, you're going to encounter interest. And that interest is going to be the more of your principal balance you have, the higher the interest rate, the more you're going to pay toward interest and balance, right? Principal balance. So you have to be careful. You got long money, instant gratification, clickbaity titles, lying to your audience, promising things that it's going to be very difficult to get, versus long-term money, the long game. The long game. Believe it or not, YouTube is a game, 100%. It is a lot of strategy involved. It's a lot of authenticity, but it's a lot of strategy. And now you see, you have one creator that is struggling that has gone back to work, even though she told you that you need to quit your 9-to-5 job. You have another creator that was pushing YouTube on easy mode, and now they are, for the countless amount of times, going back to work. Then you have those that, because they actually were doing it the right way, have managed, like myself, to not have to go back to doing anything outside of this for the last 7 months. And we're only going to build on that, right? So I want to show you just a little bit. First of all, I wish him the best. New father, been a father, husband, personal stuff aside, YouTube, I wish him the best. All right. Hopefully he doesn't make me look like a fool and come back. But I said this. If he does, he's only going to do himself a disservice, right? He's only going to do himself a disservice. But here's why you have to be careful. It is very possible. I don't want anybody to be discouraged because Dante London is going back to work. If you mismanage your funds, I'm not saying he did that. I don't know what he spent his money on. But if you mismanage your funds, if you don't plan your YouTube channel, everyone should be planning their YouTube channel like a business if you intend to make any money off of it. If you don't, if you just want to make chump change, you can post whatever you want. You can do. If you don't care about a dime, then do whatever you want to do. But if you want to be successful in the money aspect and potentially have this, you don't even have to make it full time. Okay? Nobody is forcing you to do that or saying you should. But if you want to make something, if you want, whether it's paying your car note, paying your light bill, you want cable to pay for itself, you want your internet to pay for itself, you got to have some type of strategy. Okay? Remember, the quick money, you can get quick money, but the long money, you want to build your community the right way, because once you go, not only are they going to support you on the platform, they're also most likely to support you off the platform. But the biggest way they can support you is by coming back to watch your content. That is the biggest way they can support you. There's a lot of money in brand deals. There's a lot of money in affiliate links, but you are going to make that money with trust. You don't ever have to sell anything and still make the money that you look to make. You have to build your channel the right way. So shout out to this video is doing very well for him. Over 1,000 views on our side in less than 50 minutes. So on his side, it could be 1,500. It's doing very well. So you can see here that his audience still cares about him. And that's one thing I can say versus Dodash, is she has ruined her audience beyond belief. No, very few people care about, like, the lost souls. They care, and they just lap up whatever she does, which is actually very sad. And yeah. Anyway, so this is what advertisers have paid me on average for the last 28 days. This snapshot was taken today. Okay. $16.84. Playback base cost for every 1,000 views, CPM, aka cost per meal, aka every 1,000 monetized playbacks. A monetized playback can be a bumper ad, it can be a display ad, it can be a skippable ad. But if an ad shows up in any form on a video, that is a monetized playback. Now, that's how much on average. It does vary based off of video. That's how much on average advertisers were paying me before YouTube took their cut. Remember, RPM, which is revenue per meal, encompasses memberships, encompasses super thanks, super chats, super stickers, affiliate links, the whole 9 yards. Okay, this is strictly based off of watch page ads, aka ads that are on your video. All right, so this is on the smaller side. I don't even know what niche this channel was in, but if you're in a higher paying niche, then you would make more than this. Okay, so let's just do some simple math. If I got 1,000, if I get, let's see, my average is 1684. Okay, so 1684, we're going to do some very simple math. We're going to times that times 10, right? So just my elementary school math, that should be what's $160 and what? Let's do a calculator real quick. Let me pull it up, and we're going to do 1684 because I already look like a fool, right? And these videos are unedited. So, and we're going to times that times 10 because that's what we would need to hit 10,000. Okay. Exactly what I thought it was. $168.40 is what I would make every 10,000 views that were monetized. Okay. Now, so that puts that in perspective. Okay. Now let's say that this same video goes viral. I think viral has to be at least 250,000, but for the sake, so let's just do that. So let's clear that. And we're going to say, now we're going to times, as a matter of fact, let me bring this back in the screen. I will bring this in the screen and we could do it here. Let's fade back to this. So 1684, we know that that's 10,000, right? Every 10,000 views, I said 1684. Well, it is 1684, but $168.40. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're now going to times that times 10, and we're going to equal $1,684. Now that's if the CPM stayed the same all the time. It changes, so it varies. Okay. YouTube takes 45%. So we are now going to minus 45%. We're going to equal 700 equals, there it is, $922. So this is what you would make if this video was to hit 100,000. Okay. Now we said that we needed to be mini viral. Okay. So let's start over, and we're going to say that we have $68.40. Okay. We're going to times that now by 25 because that's every 10,000 views is what we would be making. So now we're going to times that times 25, and we're going to hit equal $4,240. That's how much that the video would have made you if it made that and had a 250. We're going to call that viral, 250,000. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we are going to minus 45%. We're going to hit equal, and you would bring home $2,315.50. All right. That's great for sitting in your car for 10, 20 minutes, making a video go viral. But YouTube is not on easy mode. This does not happen every video. What's more likely to happen, okay, is for you to get 2,000 views, 3,000 views, 5,000 views. That's more likely. Now, if you make enough of those videos, it adds up. It adds up, okay? So you can make this. I made this in a month. I've made more than that in a month. It adds up. So instead of chasing viral short money, you need to be thinking about the long term. Okay. So let's start over. We're going to all clear this. Let's take that. Let's say a video makes you $80. That's one video. Let's say you make 3 videos a day and a video makes you 80. This is what it gets you. Or you know what? It gets you, we're going to say, let's clear this. Let's say you make a video, it makes $100. Makes $100. We're going to minus YouTube's 45%. That's going to give you $55. Okay? So let's say you made this video, made you $55. You made another video, it then made you 40. You made another video, it then, I don't know, made you what? Let's get frisky. Let's say 32. Then you made another video and it made you 100. This is all in the same day. Then you get this. Okay? So what would this be per hour? Let's just make this an even. Let's go down. Let's clear this. Let's make this 225 and we're going to divide that by 8. And we're going to come up to that. That's $28 an hour. Now, of course, you got to put tax and all that stuff. You got to do all that stuff, right? Medical, whatever you decide to do. But as far as that is concerned, but that's from one day. That too can be from one day. That too can be doubled to 5. We're not even including super chats, super thanks, super stickers, memberships, which are all, you get that from building a loyal community. This is what I've been trying to tell you. But if you just wanted to do AdSense, this is one day. So let's say that you did that. And we're going to say, so 225 a day, 225 per day. And we're going to times that by 31. And we're going to say $6,975. Could you live off that per month? That's $84,000 a year, minus all the stuff that you know you have to take out. Could you live off that? 84,000, more like 60, 55, 60, somewhere around there. Let's not forget, this is one channel. You can have multiple YouTube channels. Again, people, YouTube is not and never has been on easy mode. It's about long-term money, the long game, putting in the work. Dante said in this video today, you can't take shortcuts. Who's been telling you that? I've been trying to tell y'all this. This getting to the point that I am right now is taking 5 years of hard work, planning, strategy, looking beyond the immediate. Because just a year ago, I was still working and making YouTube videos. Now I'm working, making YouTube videos. That's a bar. But you got to do it the right way. So wishing much success to Dante London. I implore everybody, none of you watching this video has to do YouTube full time. You never have to monetize your YouTube channel. Do you know why I monetize my channels? Why not get paid talking about something you love to? This did not exist 20 years ago. Well, it was new. Nope, YouTube did not exist 20 years ago. It was in the works. We have opportunity that we didn't have 20, 25 years ago. And it's getting better. It's getting better. Did you know that YouTube has a store integrated into your channel? You have a multitude of selections. There's a store built into your YouTube channel that you can turn on. You can select the provider and run it straight through your dashboard, straight through. Okay. So wishing Dante London much success. I hope whatever he says he means this time. And I'm hoping it all works out. Because one thing I can say about him versus the other person is I don't believe that the intentions are the same. They're not the same. Stealing, convincing people to invest in you when you have nothing to offer and you are a known person who scams is pathetic and disgraceful. And that's one thing that giving somebody a copyright strike is whether that's Dante's personal. He can decide whether or not he wants to do that. If you tell people that you're not, that they can use your content, that's whack. That's wrong. But anybody can strike anybody. It's what YouTube gives us. Now, it's maybe an unspoken thing, right? So I'm not saying what he was doing was right. I think it was wrong. But that stuff aside, man, this has never been personal for me. It's still not personal. But there is a difference between you-know-who and Dante London. Anyway, wishing him the best, man. I hope I was able to teach you something today.